Remember that, Jim? So I'm starting you off with this one. Do you remember a time when the Webbot report long ago told you a time would be coming when you would hear about basically a cyclone, or that's what they call them in other countries. In our country, we call them hurricanes. And they would basically encompass the United States, and you'd see the weather radar, and it'd be this big giant storm that would go across. And do you remember that by chance? Well, I do. Let me show you something. See that picture right there? Bomb cyclone detonates over 700 million. No, 700. 70 million Americans as hurricane winds batter central U.S. Hurricane winds battering central part of the United States? In an image of a giant, cyclone-looking thing across the U.S., causing these late snowstorms and everything else. The National Weather Service, NWS, announced a meteorological bomb detonated over the central U.S. of historic proportions. As the powerful winter storm developed, midweek heavy snow pounded northern Colorado, including Denver, western Nebraska, Bill, sorry about that, brother, eastern Wyoming, central South Dakota, and southeastern North Dakota. Here's another picture, just FYI, there's another picture of that sucker. Jiminy Christmas. I'm not freaking putting you on, Charlie. As expected, a historically strong storm pushed through the plains Wednesday into Thursday with powerful winds, snow, and blizzard conditions. A wind gust of 97 miles per hour was recorded near Colorado Springs, along with several inches of snowfall. This created blizzard conditions and blowing snow that continues today in much of the plains of Colorado. This has caused road closures and travel headaches across the region. This system is also responsible for flooding across the upper Midwest, as well as severe weather and tornadoes in the Ohio Valley on Thursday. Reported meteorologist and owner of Empire Weather LLC, Ed Valley. Who can it be texting at my door? The whiff. The whiff. The wife. The whiff. You did it like this. You did it like that. You did it like this with a whiff. Oh, ball bat. Bomb cyclone hit 70 million across 25 states. That's half the states in the United States, basically. Denver Airport cancels more than 1,000 flights before closing all runways as hurricane-force wind gusts reach 100 miles per hour. Hundreds were stranded throughout Colorado interstates. AP reported many accidents occurred along Interstate 25 and 70 in Colorado. Dozens of roads remain closed in Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, South Dakota, and Iowa on Thursday due to snow and flooding. Now, is it possible that a whole bunch of people, after this year especially, as we get into summer, I should say, because I'm already hearing my friend Bill, I can hear him now without even talking, I can hear him now. We're getting the hell out of Nebraska. And there's going to be people, we're getting the hell out of Colorado, I'm going to get the hell out of any of the Dakotas, or right? There are going to be people saying, I'm tired of it. I can't handle this cold, this crazy winter. This is the top, the straw that broke the camel's back. We are done. And guess where they're probably going to run down to? Texas. And Pablo, honey, please come to Florida. Florida. Ain't going to be too much recession in Florida. Ain't going to be too many housing busts in Florida, I guess, in the future. All these people who are probably tired of it and are going to come down. Or at least not to the extent of maybe some other places. How many people are going to come down here? And then what's going to happen to Florida? It's going to freaking turn into what California is. See, my dad, I told you this story. My dad said when your mom was pregnant with you, I think my sister was already born, if I recall. Either that or they were pregnant with my sister, whatever. And Dad told me, look, we lived in Babylon. We grew up, me and your wife, his wife, my mom, Babylon, New York. And him and those New Yorkers, they don't got to stick together, right? Because he said, I'm out of here. He said, I'm out of here. It's getting too expensive. Housing, everything. Let's go. Let's go to California, San Diego. It's cheap. It's good living, good climate. Let's go. Tired of the snow anyways. Let's go. All right, they go. They last probably, I'd say about 6 years maybe. And property going up, prices going up everywhere. Again, people flocking to the area, getting crazy out there. Prices especially. My dad, let's go to Florida with Uncle John, your mom's uncle, Uncle John. All right. I mean, I'm a kid. I'm, 5 years old. Moved down here when I was 5. Stayed ever since. Generally Tampa area. I've moved around, Brandon, Tampa, whatever. Now where we live now, a little north of that. But it's the same thing. So all these snowbirds, they ain't gonna be no snowbirds. They're gonna be, what do you call a snowbird that stays down permanently? Ain't no snowbird. I'm snowed out and I've had enough. And they're gonna be coming down here. So land and property, boy, real estate in Florida could get good at some point in the near future. Now you might have some people saying, oh, well, this is just a one-off, right? This is a one-off winter. It's not gonna be that bad. I mean, it's bad this year, but well, the cycles come and go. Maybe it's just a little one-off. And then maybe next year will come, 2020. And then winter comes around. And oh my God, another one of those hurricane cyclone things. We had, last year was only 100 mile an hour. It got up to 120 this year. What the hell? This is a hurricane force wind in the middle of the country. What the hell's going on? I can't deal with it. Look what the damage happened. In Florida, you're getting hurricane insurance, basically, for hurricane damage. You're going to have it. Like, it's just automatically included, basically. But you don't really have that in the central U.S. We're not going to have a hurricane ever. We might get some flooding every now and then, so you might need some flood insurance, but that's about it. And typically living out in the middle of nowhere in the country, insurance is cheap, housing is cheap, everything is cheap. And now all of a sudden, I'm just curious, if they had 97 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour winds in these places, what kind of damage has been done? That's enough wind speed to cause some damage, right? For sure. And it's snowing. So I just want to put you in the mindset, you live out in these areas. You have hurricane force winds. When the hurricanes hit here, and I say hit here, it didn't even hit here. We got a little bit of the outer band, the last one in 2 years ago. And I was just on the verge of closing on this house. We didn't yet. So I was like, oh good, if any damage happens, he's on the hook, not me. Power was out for 4 or 5 days. And it was awful. Sweating and hot at night. And oh my God, it was just... Can't run the toilets because we're on well water out here. Can't, it was terrible. That's when I'm like, I got to get an RV or something with the generator. I got to do it. And now I sold the RV, so I'm still looking at maybe a generator, right? I'd like one on a little trailer, a little diesel or something. That'd be, ideal for me. But anyway, so just imagine being power out 4 or 5 days. Now here, I was hoping it was a little cooler out. Right? I mean, Jesus, it was hot. Sweating at night, me and my wife, window open and hoping a little bit of breeze comes in. Could you imagine snow temperatures, for sure, 12 inches of snow, 24 inches of snow, what the hell is dumping, whatever it is, matter of days. And you've got hurricane force winds, which have now knocked out power lines like they tend to do in Florida. So power lines are knocked out. You've got ice and snow everywhere. And a lot of times I know ice storms can even knock powers out. But this is an ice, snow, and hurricane storm. And let's just say the power is wiped out for a week. And again, it's freezing outside where you guys are. And you don't have wood burning stoves or things. You just have, I got the regular, electric heat or whatever it is that you have. Now, if you've got propane, well, that's a little different, right? Because you may have a 250 or 500 gallon tank. It might, again, depending on how much you use on 250, 5 days, you might be able to do that. But propane does use 3 times as much fuel as, say, diesel, or even, I think it's about 3 times. So White Dove was saying in her last report, prepare. In her report, interesting times on planet Earth are coming. Have food storage, have stuff to do with things. EMPs. I'm seeing EMPs coming. They're going to do a couple trials, it seems like, somewhere in America, small time. And then the big one's going to come. They will do this in other countries. You're going to have the yellow vest protests of these people and the way the country deals with them, the government. They do a false flag on themselves, knock the power out, blame it on something else, so that the people are more focused on that rather than overthrowing the government, basically, because the government knows its days are numbered. And they want to retain power, so they just do this and say, everybody go fend for yourself. She said that in the report. Other countries, too, like the Yellow Vest movement, and here's why. And then we have I'm not going to say it was an EMP, no one knows what it was, but a power outage. Again, they could blame it and say it was an EMP. Oh, yeah, the bad guys did it. Those Americans did it. EMP, they took the power. They could say whatever they want. The bottom line is the power is out, one way or the other, in Venezuela. And it lasted a while. I'm not even sure if it ever came back on or parts of it came on. I haven't actually been following it here the last couple of days to see any updates, but last I heard, there was still an issue. So could that come to America? You got the deep state about to go down big time. Boy, we know what they like to do at the last minute when they're in trouble. So I don't know, but generator would be nice. Way to stay warm if you're in a cold climate that could freeze yourself out of your house. I mean, no, I can't answer this. Maybe some of y'all can, but if it's 15, 20 degrees outside and your heat ain't working in your house, I mean, I guess theoretically, could you bundle up enough inside your house to at least be okay? Not, you might be a little cold, but not like freezing. Is that safe to say you could do that? You might say, yeah, probably. But I also want you to think of this. You're probably saying that thinking, well, one day of that. But if it stays cold for days on end because of the storms coming through, and it's freezing outside, and you got all this wind and rain and everything else, rain turning to snow, it's basically cold for 4 days in a row, not one day, okay, everything's back to normal, now the lights are back on, power's back on, whatever. Could you bundle up for 4 or 5 days in 15 to 20 degree weather outside? Would your house be okay enough? Or would it slowly creep down to, 20s or 30s, 30-something degrees in your house? Could you imagine that? That's cold. How are you going to bundle up in that? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not asking. But it would not be a bad idea to prepare for some of this stuff. I got started on YouTube as a prepper, basically, talking about stuff. And I always did my prepping as if I'm not crap hits the fan, I'm leaving. My prep, because I know out of Florida, the interstates would be, it'd be a log jam. It'd be, forget about it. So I always said, I'll just have, the solar panels for like an emergency kind of thing. Generator, whatever it is, food storage, you name it, the typical stuff. And it looks like this might become a reality at some point. So just keep that in mind, guys, especially y'all in the cold areas. This is 2019. What if it happens in 2020 worse? 2021 just as worse or worse than that? Give a couple, 2-3 years of this, people are going to be fleeing these northern states to go south. And again, Florida, listen, I love y'all, but Florida's, we got enough traffic of our own. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got traffic down here in any other cities, pick a city. And then the further south you go, forget about it. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, oh my God. You might as well be in, downtown LA or something at, rush hour. So anyways, I don't know, man. That's all I got to say right now. Take care.